Questions for Charlie? There we go. We'll start with Thomas.
Yeah, Charlie, this being kind of a hard-fought game where they took an early lead on you guys, it just seems like you guys kind of had that thing where you weren't going to let yourselves lose this. Did you notice something coming out of the team, and have you noticed something lately out of this team?
That was a very back and forth game as far as momentum goes, but I'm really proud of the guys. There were lots of opportunities for us to shut it down, just not fight like we did. Lots of times where statistically it didn't look good for us. We battled back and earned a win.
You come up in the 10th inning against Sherfy. I think this is a guy you've faced a few times before. What were you thinking then, especially after Trevor had gotten that hit?
Honestly, at that point, I felt like scoring one more run would have been a big deal, right? Like if I could just move the runner from second to third, with a ground ball to second, we could drive him in. The next guy could drive him in, and we'd go up two. So really, I was more or less just thinking about hitting the ball to the right side.
Okay, you saw Trevor. I know it had been kind of frustrating for him here lately. What did you see out of his swings tonight? And, just your thoughts about Trevor right
now. It's always tough, having a long homestand and then getting out on the road for the first time and seeing two sinkers or two seamers and curveballs. It always feels just a little bit different. And I felt like even Price tonight, when he pitched in Denver, it seemed like everything was like straight four seamers, and then tonight it seemed like everything had sink on it. So even though it was the same pitcher, just being in two different venues felt like two different pitchers. And so Trevor, took a couple of bats to make those adjustments, and then he murdered that homer, and then a huge RBI in the 10th to drive in Hampton. He looked really good at the end of the time.
And just from your vantage point, seeing what the bullpen was able to do, obviously Bard had a strange inning, but he pulled through it. And then you see a young guy come on against the Dodgers in the 10th inning, which, even though you guys had a lead, is not the easiest thing.
Daniel was in a really tight spot. I think he had, tie ball game, bases loaded, no outs, got out of it. And obviously, he was so close to losing the game right there, or getting the loss anyway, I guess I should say. But he didn't, like I said, he fought back even though things weren't going his end of the game. And then Lucas came in and just really saved us. He did a great job. Came in throwing strike, looked really good, super aggressive. That's how I'd really like to see him pitch, and that's why he got three guys out in a row tonight.
Hey, thanks, Charlie.
Patrick.
Hey, Charlie. You've been hitting very well, but the way Bud Black explained it to me, the way teams have been pitching you, you've really had to go opposite field a lot, and you've been very productive doing it. Was it just a matter of time for you where you got a pitch that you could pull a little bit and really, go to right or right center with power? Or is that just kind of something you were just waiting for that certain pitch?
I think more of a, the situation dictated that should be what I do there. If I hit a ball to the right side, we get that runner over to third and in really good position to score. But having said that, the pitch he threw me was a hanging breaking ball. That's a good pitch to elevate and to pull for power. So he kind of, he just laid one in there for me, and I was able to take advantage of it.
We asked Red this question as well. This is 3 wins on the road, 3 wins in a row on the road if you go back to San Diego. Are these kind of wins, San Diego and then this big win in LA, what can that do for this team going forward, not just second half of this year, but maybe even next year?
Yeah, certainly a tough team in the Dodgers. And I think for me, the big thing is the fact that we won right away, first road game after a long homestand is more indicative of how well we played tonight. And it's really nice to see the type of win, right, where we score a bunch of runs, right? That it wasn't just Marquez going out there and dominating somebody for 8 innings. It was, it was a lot of offense from the Rockies tonight.
Thanks, Charlie.
Finish up with Danielle. Go ahead, Danielle.
Yeah, Charlie, what's it been like watching Sam Hilliard come up and contribute right away like he has?
Yeah, I think he hit that double his first at bat, maybe. And then tonight, I mean, that was just an unbelievable pinch hit home run off of a tough lefty. I mean, that's that's an easy situation to like I said, shut it down or feel like it's just not going your way. I mean, but he had a really competitive at bat, and I thought that was going to be the game winning run right there. But without that run, we don't end up getting the win. So that was a great job by him. He looks like he's super competitive, and I'm glad he's here.